just Cupid. My name is Success. If this is the first time you're seeing me, like you're just seeing this beauty for the first time, please subscribe, comment, like, share. Yeah. And if you're an already subscribing member, your family, good to have you back. Thank you for coming back. Okay, so today I have, let me just go straight. So there's this guy, and I met him through a friend. He was fine, he was cute, and I like fine guys. What? Don't judge me. Yes, they make me blush. Okay, yeah. So he was fine, and one thing I liked is, aside the fact that he was fine, we could have conversations. I really like to have conversations. It's it's like it's a deal breaker for me actually. If I can't be with someone that we cannot converse, yes, I like to talk. Not too much, but I like to have conversations. So yeah, we could talk. Like we talked about a lot of things, and I really like that. And I could tell that he was feeling me. So yeah, he liked me. I could tell that. So one day we're having like I said, we talk about everything and anything, and we're friends. So we're having this conversation, and we're talking about what we've observed about relationships, basically. You know, you see people that like couple goals, you talk about it, like what's really unique about their relationship. We're just randomly gisting. But the fact that he brought up that conversation and the way he was saying it, I'm like, maybe he's finally deciding to ask me out. Let's get this whole thing over with. Come on. I mean, we're already vibing well, so why are you wasting time? Like, let's get it done. So yeah, we're having a conversation, and then I was like, okay, we both already knew. I'm like, first of all, I'm a Christian, so my faith doesn't encourage sex before marriage. And so I was like, so that's it for me. There's no sex before marriage. Yeah. And he was like, okay. When he said that, okay, so how does your, is it that anybody that's in a relationship with you, there will be no form of intimacy in your relationship? It will just be, it's almost like we're just being friends. What differentiates me if I'm going to be your boyfriend from your regular friend as a guy? There has to be intimacy in a relationship. And I mean, it's true, yeah. There has to be intimacy in a relationship. But I just told him that, see, as I then I didn't have the right answers. I didn't even fully understand. But I just knew that for me, no sex outside marriage or before marriage, whatever. So that's why I told him that this is it for me. And yeah, you already know. You already know how the story is gonna end. So there's no need of me boring you about it. But yeah. But it got me thinking, because I was like, he's right. Relationships actually need, like, what will be the difference between having normal friends and him? Like, how are we going to be intimate? So that brings me to our topic for today: intimacy, baby. Let's go intimate. Okay, so first of all, this word intimacy, what does it mean? According to the dictionary, intimacy is like a feeling, or is even an atmosphere of closeness, of openness. It's now openness. Openness towards someone, not necessarily, or it's not always, you know, sexually related. Yeah, so it could just be friendship. So now, intimacy is beyond sex. I feel like we need to know this. Most people don't even realize it, but intimacy is beyond sex. It is beyond sex. That's been said. What are the types of intimacy? Now there are like six types of intimacy. I know, six types. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Behave. You've been doing good so far. Okay, yeah, so there's experiential intimacy. Now, experiential intimacy is basically like when you share experiences with your partners. Your partner, because you also have one partner, please, your partner. When you share experiences with your partner, so you guys, maybe you go on a road trip together, or you go skydiving together, or you go bike riding together, like when you do stuff together. Yeah, that's experiential intimacy. So now the thing is, it is actually beyond doing things together. Because when I tell people this, and they're like, "Yeah, we do. I mean, we do things together. We do this together." It's beyond that. It's more like when you both agree to do something together without any form of distraction. So it means you're not receiving calls from work, you're not picking calls from nobody. Basically, your phone is out, you're not checking your messages, you're not chatting. If you have kids, the kids are out of the picture. So maybe you take them somewhere, maybe get a babysitter or take them to um, your sister's house, your parents, something, but you both have each other's time. Yeah, and you have those experiences together. Now that's experiential intimacy, and it is very important because the way it helps you, like you really bond over those experiences. You create memories. Yeah, you get to know your partner more as you are doing these things together, so you're fully involved. So that's it. And okay, so I mean, it doesn't have to be too fancy, because I know not everyone might have the resources to probably take a trip somewhere, or go skydiving. But it's even down to like the little things you guys do together. So you could cook together. You could read a book together. You could play games together. Ah, I like that one. I like to, yes, I like that one too. Yeah, that's my almost favorite. So yes, you could do all those little things together. It's just basically making sure you're doing all that together without any form of distraction. So anything that works for the both of you and you both agree on. That aside, let's go to the next one, which is emotional intimacy. Yeah, I know it almost sounds cliche, but I guess it's not so obvious. Emotional intimacy is when you can be yourself, when you can be vulnerable, when you can be honest with your partner, and you can just like share your truth without feeling like, okay, would they judge me? How would they see me? What would their perspective and opinion of me after I say this? So basically, you can be yourself. When your partner can be themselves with you, when they know that your response to them is going to be you're safe, okay. No matter what it is, you're you, and I love you for you. Yeah, now that's emotional intimacy. See, this thing is very important. You know why? I feel like the world, I mean, we all know the world we live in is very harsh. It's hard, it's wicked, it's mean. So you want to be like that safe home. You want to be that safe heaven for your partner, that even if they are wrong, they are right. They know it doesn't affect who they are. They just know that if they're wrong, they're going to be corrected by you in love without making them feel any less, or feeling like they're not smart or something. So that's why I'm saying it's very important. Yeah, because there's something I realized, or something I've noticed with our generation, and it is that every day we seem to be losing empathy. We seem to be losing patience when it comes to people, when it comes to love, when it comes to relationship. We're just very quick to we have a checkbook, a checklist basically. So this check, this no, 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 get out. And it doesn't work that way, because you're not perfect. If everyone you meet brings a checklist and they use that to discard you, who do you think you will be with? You think you're perfect? You're not perfect. No one is perfect. So that's what I'm saying, the whole empathy and patience thing, because when your partner is able to say every and anything with you, and they don't feel like you're going to judge them for it, they know you're going to listen. If they're wrong, you'll be like, ah, babe, no, I think this is it, or this should be it, and all that. You're not like, you should know better. Or sometimes you might not even say anything, but afterwards they can see that you probably use that particular thing to judge them, and now there's a way you're looking at them, there's a way you're behaving, there's a way you're acting. Or sometimes some of us, because you're my partner, I can be open to you, I should be honest with you. Sometimes we just go, ah, I can't believe you're saying this kind of thing. You should know better. I'm so disappointed. Or you make some kind of comments. How can you? It shouldn't be. So they should feel safe with you emotionally. So it means you have to learn to not be judgmental, but you have to be there with them. And it's also, they could be going through anything. You should be there to listen. If they're crying, you should be there to just be with them, to, comfort them, basically being there emotionally. And people who have, or relationships that have less or poor emotional intimacy, they are usually at a large risk of divorce, because you see a lot of people that are actually divorced. It's not like they don't love each other. Like, you hear them, they love each other, but I don't know, it's not just working. Or some of them feels like the other person doesn't love me, and this person's like, I love you, and like, well, I don't see it. It doesn't seem like it. It's because of all these things. Like, that intimacy is not there. So that's why it's very important. Now, the next one is intellectual intimacy. So this is okay, most times this is actually overlooked. Like, a lot of people overlook this when they are getting into a relationship, or when they're trying to, decide who they're going to be in a relationship with. They tend to overlook this, but it's very important. So this is the ability for you and your couple, what am I saying? This is the ability for you and your partner to actually, like, share interest, share ideas together. Basically, intellectual exchange. Yes. So you guys are curious about something together. There's just that um this thing where you guys do stuff together. So the thing is, okay, before I go further, I would like to see that if you're in a relationship and you notice that maybe some of these things are not in your relationship, you guys don't have these forms of intimacy, don't rush out. Okay, call your partner, talk to your partner. Okay, so I saw this video, I learned this somewhere, and I think we should do this, because all these things, you have to be intentional about it. It doesn't come naturally to nobody, it doesn't come naturally to anybody, so you have to actually be intentional about it. Yeah. So before I go further, I just needed to say that, so you not go and evaluate your relationship, be like, my relationship is only sexual intimacy way. Maybe I'm the wrong one. Maybe I should get out. No, work on it. Talk to your partner. Okay, so back to the main thing. So intellectual intimacy, yeah, is when you guys can share interests and ideas together. So it could be, and I like to state that most times you and your partner might not have the same interest. It doesn't mean that it's a red flag. Let me use that word, because I think that's our favorite word. We like to look for red flags in people and hop out. I mean, it's important to look out for red flags, but I feel there's a balance for red flag, and a balance for, there's a place for red flag, and there's a place for, okay, allowing your partner to learn and grow from you and with you. Okay, so that's just my opinion. Someone else might disagree, but so yeah. Why I'm saying this is, if you might not have the same interest, it doesn't mean you cannot learn to be interested in that thing. I'm going to give an example just so you understand where I'm coming from. I know there's so many ladies that they don't like football. They know nothing about football. And then voila, they meet a guy that loves football so much. Like, he's crazy about football. And they just had to begin to develop the interest. So you see that they begin to go to football games. They begin to go to football games with him. They probably even get a jersey that they don't need. It starts from just little efforts. And before you know it, when you see these people, they are now probably even more crazy fans of football. Like, they love football. They probably now love football more than their partner that they learned the whole thing, or they had to get interested in football for in the first place. It happens, yeah. So we intellectual intimacy is something that can be learned, that you can develop. In short, everything I'm talking about here today, you can learn it, you can develop it intentionally with your partner. That's how it actually works. You actually have to be intentional about it. It's not magic. Neither is it, doesn't come with your DNA. Okay? So yes. So because when you do that, when you guys have that form of intimacy, it actually brings this excitement. It makes your relationship more exciting. It also is a room for personal growth. So as much as, because okay, look at it, you met someone, you never liked football, but you met someone that actually is crazy about football. You learn about football in the process of trying to be interested. So if you have a partner that seems like they're not interested in your interest, that sounds somehow, but I think you get what I'm trying to say. They don't seem interested in what you love to do. You can actually help them. You can actually teach them how to be interested. You know, little by little, you could probably say, okay, you know what, today's this thing. Just go with me, or you begin to tell them about it. Let's say, for example, you're you're not a science person. You're not into all this science stuff or AI, and you happen to be with someone that is into it. You just add little effort to know about it, or tell them, okay, so tell me about it. Might, I mean, they seem very interested in it. It means they might be doing something about it or something related to it. So when they tell you, ah, yes, so I did this, I did that, or how there's this thing I discovered, be like, okay, yeah, tell me more. Trust me, sometimes you zone off. I do that sometimes. You zone off and then you come back. But you know, over and over, you begin to hear about that thing. You're first of all, you're gaining knowledge, even if you didn't ask for it, you're gaining knowledge. And you see that over time, you'll be curious, like, okay, really? And then you see something that is related to it, you might actually go further to read up. And you realize that, ah, this thing is actually interesting, or you end up liking it. Even if you don't end up liking it, for the person you love, I think it's worth it. And you're still learning, because no knowledge is lost, and it's good to have knowledge on any and every field. So you can have conversations, or you can function in any when it comes to any aspects, of anything that's thrown at you. So it's a win-win. No knowledge is lost, yeah. But like I'm saying, you have to be patient with your partner to be interested in what you're interested in. Okay, so but you need to build that intellectual intimacy. It actually really helps. Personal growth, it does. When you see people talking about, or you hear people talking about, I with him or with her, I've become a better version of myself. It's part of all these things that makes them become a better version, because they're learning, they're growing. Okay. Okay, so yeah, that's it. We're going to, yeah, I know I said there's six types, and we've talked about three types of intimacy. The first one, experiential. The second one we talked about is okay, no, intellectual intimacy was the third one, and the second one was emotional intimacy. So those are the three types we've talked about, and we're gonna have the second version, not like second version, but part two of it, because I want to be able to really, I don't want to just rush it out. I really want to explain for everyone to have like an understanding, and let it be real, let it not sound like I'm just dropping theoretical lines. So that's why I'm trying to give as much examples and whatever scenarios. Okay, so if you want to know the remaining three types of intimacy, then you don't want to miss the part two of this video, which would definitely be coming out pretty soon. So watch out, and that's why you have to turn on the notification bell. Okay, so if you're stay till this time and you have not subscribed, haba. But why are you doing this? Please go subscribe. I would like to hear from you also, what you agree, what you not agree with in terms of all we've been talking about, or you have suggestions of how these forms of intimacy can also be, expressed. Please comment below. Please give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Give it a thumbs up and share. But most of all, don't forget to subscribe. Okay, so thank you for your time, and much love.